Well, good morning and welcome back to River Valley Farm. Today we got some parts in. Let's see if I can get this thing to do its deal or not. Well, anyway, we're back on the D7. We got our heads in, or I should say we got our heads back from the machine shop yesterday, and yeah, we're going to be cleaning up the block and getting ready to set these heads on. So, should be a good time. Anyway, guys. Oh, let me, since I don't have my regular video camera for whatever reason, can't find it. I'm using my phone. So hopefully this will work out. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, let me turn this camera around and see what happens here. Alright, so here's one head. A box of some parts. I had to replace one combustion chamber, or pre-chamber, and there's our other head. I got new injectors for this thing too. Gasket sets are all over here. Head gasket set and miscellaneous other stuff here. Gaskets, O-rings for the turbo, injector tips, another injector tip, gasket for one of the turbo lines, more gaskets, and another turbo seal. Okay then. But yeah, so head gasket set, miscellaneous gaskets over there. So, yeah, now I gotta get that uncovered and get set up to start polishing on it. Alright, so, this is just after a wipe down. Used a little brake clean and a rag and just wiped all the old oily nasty stuff off of it. For some reason we rusted up over here a little bit, but it wipes off as such, so it shouldn't be any problem. And then, you know, down in the cylinders, everything looks pretty good still. So even though it's been a couple of weeks since we took this thing apart, it's still in good shape, even though it has rained like every day since then. But so yeah, next step, we're out of the way, will involve a die grinder as such, and probably several of these little roll-lock discs. They're just a purpose-built tool to remove gasket material and polish metal surfaces. So yeah, well, let me get started on this and we'll get back to you. Alright, so after much battle of trying to thaw out air compressors and stuff, I didn't realize it got that cold last night, but anyway, we have, it is cleaned up as we can get it with the die grinder. And now it is time for emery cloth, emery tape, whatever you want to call it. First we got to wipe it down with a rag a little bit more, because you can see there's a little bit of oily, or rather just probably dirty brake cleaner left on the deck of the block there. And yeah, so anyway, we've got to get this all polished up a little bit more. Some of the tighter places, like, get a hold of this phone here between the this head stud and this dowel pin, and you know, stuff like that. Smaller, tighter areas we're gonna have to polish by hand. I would almost say that this is probably good enough, but I don't want to do this again, so we're going to take a little bit of extra time and kind of clean it up by hand, just to make sure we have it all good and clean. So let me start polishing. Alright, so everything's all cleaned up. Best I can tell anyway, everything's all cleaned up. And looks like we're ready to see about our head gasket sets. Or set, I should say. So let me get down from here and get this box open, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, so we got a hat and a sticker. Not really important, but anyway. We've got our water jacket side of the head gaskets here. And we have 2 head gaskets, valve cover base gaskets, and valve cover gaskets. Plus, in this bag here we have all kinds of miscellaneous stuff, basically, best thing I can call it. Exhaust gaskets, water manifold gaskets, turbo seals that I probably didn't need to buy separate, but anyway, we got them if we need them. But yeah, gaskets galore in this little bag here. So I guess it's time to get ready and set these heads on. Yay, fun. Now I gotta use my come along and winch them up on there. Okay, there's the cylinder head. And then up here, okay, so cylinder head, head gasket. This is a 2-piece gasket, so you have this one, which is basically just to seal the oil for your valve train over here, and then we have the actual cylinder head gasket here that seals coolant and compression. The coolant seals are accomplished with this little grommet and brass here, and then over here, I'm not sure if this is oil or if it's also coolant. I don't remember very well, but anyway, you have all these nice little grommets that you have to keep track of, as well as just the cylinder head gasket, which is a little bit different from more modern stuff. Anyway, let me get some rigging done. Got my nifty chain here on the timber sweeps, and then my little come along, and down there on the ground is another chain. So I've got to get this rigged up and get it ready to sling up here. Get back to you in a little bit. Alright, so after not much time at all, no smashed fingers or any fun stuff like that, there we have it, 1 cylinder head on the engine. Now we got to set up our next gasket, and we're gonna have to relocate my chain a little bit and go from there. Alright, so same deal as before. Got our chain rigged up. I haven't got the come along hooked to it yet. Got the new gaskets down. Just got to winch this booger up and put it down on the block, and then we get to start torquing the head bolts down. Head studs, excuse me. Anyway, we've got a long way to go yet, and we're gonna run out of daylight, so I'll keep going until I can't see anymore. Alright, so here we have our big head nuts that go on here. I'm just going to put all the big nuts on and then come back and get the smaller ones started, and then we get to torque it down. So there is a sequence, but I don't remember what it is, and I don't remember the torque spec either, but we'll cover that when we actually start torquing it, which is probably going to be hard to do because I don't have my camera. But anyway, we'll get back to it. Okay, so we've got all of our nuts on. Pretty simple, really. As you saw, I had them in a vat of oil. So then over here we have our torque specs. 5/8 nuts tightened to 60 foot-pounds the first time, and 7/8 nuts 150 foot-pounds the first time. And then second time we do the 7/8 nuts to 300 foot-pounds, and then the 5/8 nuts to 120 foot-pounds. So to start with, for the 5/8 nuts, I'm going to use a 3/8 drive torque wrench, and for the 7/8 nuts, a 1/2 inch drive torque wrench. And then we'll step it up to 1/2 inch and 3/4 respectively. But anyway, yay, now I get to pull on a torque wrench. We'll get back to you once I get this all said and done here. Okay, so all of our head studs and nuts are torqued back in. So now I guess it's time to go and clean up the might as well put the rocker boxes or the valve cover bases back on, I think, and then we'll start putting the valve train back in her. So yeah, now it's time to clean parts. Alright guys, so heads are on and torqued. I think I already covered that. I've got the valve train in the front head and not in the back head yet, but it's been a long day, battling with frozen air compressors this morning and what have you. I lost probably 2 hours getting my air to work, so somebody's got a big gun. Anyway, as I said, we lost probably 2 hours this morning getting air to work, so tomorrow's another day. But yeah, we'll get her smoking here one of these days. So we'll get back with you later. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe for more. And yeah, that should do it.